Hi everyone and welcome back. In this video today I want to walk you through a paper magic tournament that I played yesterday. I was playing this deck and I thought I'd share the results with you. Before we do that, I just want to apologize for not being live on Twitch lately and not uploading so much on YouTube. I've been quite busy and it's also August and it's finally nice weather here in the UK, so I've been trying to enjoy that, but I promise that from next month on, I'll be uploading more frequently and I'll be going live more frequently. Anyway, about the tournament. So the London Legacy Monthly has finally returned. So this is an event that before the pandemic used to take place every month in London, and there is proxies are allowed, and yeah, there's a wide variety of decks and usually quite a big turnout. So for this event yesterday, there were 36 players, which meant that we were playing 6 rounds, and I brought this deck. Now, about the performance of this deck, as you can see on the score, I went 3 wins, 3 losses. And I will say up front why I think this is the case. I was not prepared for the matchups that I was playing yesterday. I noticed that in Paper Legacy, people tend to play whatever they want, and so I was building this deck based more around some of the matches that I was playing online. And so as you can see, the first loss is against Cloudpost. Now Cloudpost does see some play online, but I actually never really played against Cloudpost with this deck, so I just wasn't prepared. Now I'll tell you a little bit about why I lost that matchup. Cloudpost, once you run out of counter spells, and you haven't killed the opponent, they pretty much win the game, especially if you're not playing Wasteland. And so that was what happened to me yesterday. I think it was a valuable matchup to play and to learn from. I'm not quite sure what I could do to improve the Cloudpost matchup. After all, like, not running Wastelands or not running a more aggressive build um, definitely made me lose that matchup. Then we won against Infect, which was pretty nice. Just, counter everything, bringing as much removal as possible. And also the Pitting Needle was quite good on the artifact Infect land. 2-1 against Ragavan Delver. So I've been playing a lot of Delver on MTGO. So seeing this matchup in Magic, like in Paper Magic, made me a little bit worried. But I think overall it went fine. Maybe a little bit lucky because we lost the first round, or I lost the first round pretty hard. And then I brought in way more removal and the Hydro Blast as well, which were excellent against the Delver matchup. And then I lost one, which I again had never really played against online. So Enchantress is a deck that I'd say is more popular in paper probably because people are really like that deck. They really like the archetype, but it's just not that competitive online. However, when you go to a paper tournament, people play whatever they want, and this is one of those matches that I never ran into before. Enchantress, there's a similar thing with Cloudpost. Like once you stop countering their stuff, and once they start, resolving their stuff, um, if you haven't killed your opponent yet, they can easily just go off, and there's not much you can do about it. Um, in addition, also one of the Enchantress creatures has Shroud, of course, so I couldn't remove it with Swords to Plowshares or Portable Hole. And my opponent, they also used Living Wish for a Spore Frog at some point to save them the game and eventually win the whole match. So that was quite interesting. But I'm not sure how I would win against Enchantress, or whether this deck should be built more towards those kind of matchups, because after all, yeah, like I said, once they start going off, they really do start going off. And then we lost against Goblins. I think that this was so close that there, yeah, it was quite unlucky that we lost this one in the end. I have played against Goblins like maybe once online, so I did know how to play against it. Just bringing as much removal as you can, but the opponent had turn one lackey in all games, and I was struggling to remove the lackey in time. Um, and yeah, and finally, and Storm. So Storm together with Delver are some matches that I've played a lot against online. I think these are good matchups for me now. Well, better than when I was first playing the deck because I have seen a lot what they're trying to do, and just having the forces, having the force of negations in the sideboard. Um, it's if you can stall your storm opponent with that, then yeah, that shouldn't be too bad. So overall, a 3-3. I don't think it's a bad score. I think it could have been better. But most of all, I think I was unprepared, and I think this goes to show that what people play in paper Magic is going to be very different from what people will play in online Magic. With that being said, paper Magic is very healthy. I mean, look at this distribution of decks, um, archetypes. You don't really run into this in a league, so yeah, really good um, to see people just play what they want to play in paper, and this makes me also want to go back to the drawing board, and maybe next time when I play in paper, I would rather play a more aggressive list. So if I had brought out, let's see, there's a mono blue Emery list, which is very aggressive. Like this is a turn 2, turn 3 deck most of the times. I think if I had brought this out yesterday, I would have probably won against Cloudburst. And maybe also against Enchantress and or Goblins. So I don't know. I think that in Paper Magic, because people like to play more fair decks and just play whatever the hell they want, sometimes bringing like really fast combo decks or really aggressive decks can be quite good. So this is up on the list for the next event, which should take place next month. So um, yeah, all in all, really good to be playing Paper Magic again. This was my first event in 1.5 years, and it just felt really nice to be able to play Magic in person again, to see some great players, to see some very friendly players, and also to allow proxies at legacy events is very important because people can show up with whatever the hell they want, and they don't have to be bound to the reserve list. About this deck itself, if I would change anything based on what I saw today, I don't think so. I just don't think that this current configuration is very good for a paper event because of the reasons I mentioned, that people will bring out whatever they want and they will play fair decks, and this can struggle a bit against fair decks because it's a fair deck itself. But um, yeah, with that being said, I hope that you found this video useful. I hope that hopefully you come out to one of these events someday, and yeah, keep on playing Legacy. See you guys around.